Hello folks, how are you? Hope you're alright on that on this fine Saturday afternoon. So we're all here and that, and I'm in a Dacia Duster, Renault Duster. Yeah, so they made their debut here in Australia, and this has got the 1.2 litre three-cylinder turbo petrol engine. This has got a 6-speed manual gearbox, as you can see right there. 3 pedals and a stick shift. Brake throttle. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth, and of course there's a lift up sleeve which you lift up to obtain reverse, and it's over all the way to the left and up parallel to first gear. This has a reversing camera. So yeah, and the glove box, which of course is about one third of the size reduced due to the fuse box not being converted over. The interior, I can sit behind myself. Black headlining. Old Dacia, how I love you so. Let's see how this goes. Heavy, it's only a lightweight clutch. Easy gear shift action so far. And it's got an electric park brake which is over on this side of the dash. So where the driver's grab handle is, that's where the parking brake is. That's disengaged now. Pull to engage, like so. Push to disengage. Digital display for the instrument cluster. That's the touchscreen. But you have physical controls for your HVAC, which is good. As your hazard lights, as your central locking. So forth, couple of trays. Looks like a bloody wireless charging pad down there by the looks. Yeah, I love my Dacia. And there's a lot of scratchy plastics in the cabin too, right down to here. Trust British paints? Sure can. Ode to Rolf Harris. Probably best we don't talk about that one so much in this climate. Might turn right here and go down a little bit. Not too much feel in the clutch, but it's okay. Yep. So apply a touch of throttle as the clutch is lifted and we're on our way. You can hear the 3-cylinder thrum. And no tachometer. Only this bloody Donkey Kong type bloody speedometer. There you go, third gear. Feel the turbo spool up for the 1.2 litre. There we go. Fourth gear. Up to fifth. It's got this bloody Surf used to have this bloody lane keeping assistant. It does feel like it's trying to pull you right into your lane, even though the car's perfectly safe in terms of its road positioning. And so far so good. It rides smoothly enough. Of course, we get to show it some going. Coming up to a red light now. It's possible to heel toe the down changes. There you go. I mean, the gear change is adequate. It shifts gear easily and smoothly enough. Synchros aren't notchy or balky, but it is a little bit on the rubbery side so far. Up to fifth, up to sixth. And again, there's no rev counter, so I don't know my exact revs. We'll just take it for a little bit of a drive. I won't bother with rev matching, just do conventional manual shifting techniques. There we go. Round the roundabout we go. There we go. Beautiful Dacia Duster. Get to dust the roads. It's fine, but the best part about it though is at least it gives us another choice in the Dacia Duster. So I keep saying Dacia, I mean Renault Duster in the French way, Renault Duster. I'm going to say Dacia Duster for all intents and purposes. Has finally made its debut here in Australia. That can only be a good thing, can't it? I mean, we were in New Caledonia in 2022. We spent, what was it, 10 days we spent over there, wasn't it? And if a Dacia Duster and other French cars are suitable for New Caledonia, which has the same climate as Mackay through to Rockhampton, Yeppoon, then it's certainly good enough for Australia. And here it is. It's finally made its debut here. Always a joy. And don't you just love that indicator gong sound though? Donkey Kong. This sounds characterful enough. But same thing again, as I said before, you can see where the costs have been kept down in this car. There we go, turn left. This is an all-wheel drive model, and I think the price for this car is close to, I think it's about $38,000 or thereabouts. I'll see how it handles. I'll just take it for a bit of a drive. Here we go. That 1.2 litre 3-cylinder Hummer is very distinctive. There we go. Man, it corners competently enough, but the body control is quite very reasonable. But there's no real feel through the steering. You can be able to get to sense the steering light up in corners, load up in corners, even around here. It's not too bad. It's still pretty neutral in that, but I wouldn't say it's the last word in handling, but it's okay. It's okay. Handle's okay. Shifts gear okay. Up to 6th. There you go. Just into labour a little on 6th. I'll just go down to 5th. And that. Let's go for a bit of a drive. 5 to 2. Come to stop sign junction. So for those of you that are interested, they do have Dacias available for lease in France. They do have them available. And this is one, and it has been officially confirmed to me that for the current leasing program for the 2026 model year, that the manuals are not available. It has been officially confirmed. You'd be able to buy them in dealers in France and other European countries, but not in terms of the leasing program, unfortunately. So you pretty much got the option of a 4x2 automatic version with the same 1.2 3-cylinder petrol. This is easy enough to drive and smooth your way through the gearbox. But yeah, so I was going to lease one of these in Europe, but with the 6-speed manual gearbox and the steering wheel on that side, left-hand drive, of course, my favourite driving configuration. Let's go for a bit of a drive. Yeah, my favourite driving configuration. Only to discover that manual gearboxes, which is what I swear by, weren't available for the lease program. But yeah, no. Air conditioning seems to be effective enough so far. Seems to be doing a very reasonable job of cooling the cabin. What's it outside about? Just can't see where the outside. 20. According to this, it's 27 degrees Celsius outside. Going into the gear. The gearing's quite tall. Here I'm sitting around 160, 180 k an hour. Just going to take it up here. This is quite a steep hill up here, Queen's Road. So we'll go down to 3rd, see how it pulls up here at 54, 57, 60 k's. Turbo's already boosting. And even in 3rd, while the turbos are already boosting away, handles it no problem. But again, that's with the turbo boosting away. It's down to 3rd gear. Second, easy to use the gearbox, very easy to modulate the way through. We're not taking this dear jalopy off road or anything like that, so we're not going to sample the 4-wheel drive system in extremis. So I'm just using it in just conservative areas. We'll see how the engine sounds. We'll rev it out. 41k an hour in first, so short gearing. Full throttle second, 68. Some fourth. Not a rocket ship. Not a rocket ship, super short gearing, but I have no doubt that due to the super short gearing that it would do quite well off-road. And if you look at some of the tests online that have tested this all-wheel drive system overseas, in Europe particularly of course, it seems to do quite well. And even if you look at forums and owners groups, and people seem to praise this car. I think the driving position could be a little bit better. I mean, this is quite upright. I mean, in order for me to work at a good driving position, the reach adjustment's right out closer to me, so I can hold the 12 o'clock position with a slight bend in my elbow, or drape the wrist over. And but no, we don't drive with one hand in the 12 o'clock position. Don't do those sorts of things. And yeah, so there's so the driving position's reasonable, but where the angle of the footrest, the driver's dead pedal, is in relation to the other pedals, in relation to the seat squab, is a little bit bandy-legged. Have a look. A few people around the swimming pool today. You're right. Get to see my Dacia. This is only a 25 metre pool, this one here at Kingston. You get the impression that looking from the outside it's a 50 because of the largeness of the complex, but not so. Speed bump. It's still pretty resilient like that. I might do it over there. What's the name's doing what they need to do. Dog training, Logan All Breeds, Dog Obedience Club Incorporated. What do you reckon, my dear? Do you like the Dacia Duster?
Oh, it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's adequate. But even so far on the super short drive at the moment, there's nothing. You wouldn't buy this over a Mazda CX-5, would you?
Hell no.
You would never consider it. I will show you a few things as to why anyway when we get out and have a look around the cabin. Yes. Well, irrespective of how this drives, I mean, this isn't what you call a satisfying driver's car. It drives well enough for the intended role, and it's refined enough. It's not noisy. I mean, yeah, you can hear engine noise, those sorts of things. So where Dacia and Romania don't invest in massive dollars for sound deadening materials, they don't invest in sound deadening materials like that to help keep the costs down. But understandable, and considering the price point. Like I said, this model was close to 40,000, I think $38,000 odd. And yeah, so that's how, again, as I said before, that's how they keep the costs down. Let's get out and have a look around it. So, electric parking brakes over here, as I explained at the outset. There you go, neutral. So there you go. Yeah, so the Dacia Duster. What do I keep saying, Dacia? Dacia, coming at ya. Anyways, yeah, so it's got the Renault logo over here and that embossed on the horn pad, but I don't want to wake anyone up because there's a few homeless people here, and that's not being derogatory towards anyone. That's the sound the horn makes. Do it again, one more for good measure. Nothing under the... No, nothing under that. Anyways, so this is the actual touch screen here, and that you can see a few little buttons on top for the volume. So this is one thing that needs to be highlighted, is these physical controls, these haptic controls, no device connected, and these other one that's minimal display, cleaning the screen. What the cleaning screen does, wipe the screen with a cloth without pressing too much, so to block all the functions, I would assume. So if you had a microfiber rag, this is more or less on a provision like so, microfiber, my glass cleaning cloth like so, lens spray, got to get my eyes retested. So yeah, like so, look, watching me closely. There you go. I promise this hasn't been in wiping any other places. And yeah, so that's how you do that one. Wipe the screen with a cloth without pressing too hard. Double tap the screen to leave the cleaning mode. 1, 2, There you go. It's lovely. So we've got audio, no device connected, what are our options? AM radio, Bluetooth, AM radio, I've got all the other menus over here. AM radio, I want to go back, I want to go back, what do we have? Sources, so sources radio, no Radio Nostalgie over here, not in France. Yeah, anyways, so the stereo works, 4ZZZ, 90s soft pop. Yes, want to do it all for love. Anyways, so that's how that works. Anyways, let's go. Let's jump out and have a look. I mean, this is the modes here. Okay, so you got eco, and then the auto, and these other modes over here. And see for the life of me. That's a snow mode. Yep, talk about snowflake. That'd be for your wet areas and that, going semi-off-road. And this over here locks your differential, so that's four-wheel drive that's engaged, the lock mode. And this over here is a hill descent control. Controls the brakes and so forth when you're descending a hill. Back, auto, eco, and auto. There you go. Tiny center console, and that barely fits my fist. I mean, when I put my fist all the way down like so, my fist is quite tight down the base of it, and that's how deep where my fist is there, where my fingers are, that's how deep the center console bin is. Provisions for storing business cards. I'll mention the wireless charging pad over here earlier. Let's go and have a look. Once again, you can see where Dacia has managed to keep the costs down and be able to produce this vehicle for quite a reasonable price. And there are certain areas where there are cost-cutting elements that have entered the equation. Let's take a closer look at those. Once again, when you look at the door cards, the door garnishes, you can see where they've kept the cost down by using finite, the basic level of the plastics. Plastic quality is robust, no, there's no doubt about that whatsoever, but it does feel cheap to the touch. But again, it's robust and should serve its purpose quite well. And this is where the rear door handles are, like so. They open the door. Same thing again. Same situation. The rear door plastics are very cheap. Looks like a couple of other rattles in there. But this is pretty much how I fit into this. And there you go. I'll have to put the head restraint up. So yeah, I'm adequate room. We've got just enough knee room, just enough, certainly enough foot room and that. That's me right there. The space is sufficient. There's no centre armrest or anything like that. You still have those aforementioned scratchy plastics. Adequate headroom, that's for sure. This much headroom I have. Yeah, like so, and where my ugly noggin is. And yeah. I mean, aside from that, it's actually I wouldn't say it's completely austere. I mean, we don't have any garnishes covering the door sashes or anything like that. But once again, Dacia is a value brand and is therefore priced accordingly. But in this car, you can fold down the rear seats, of course. There are a couple of pull-down tabs, and you do get a flat folding floor area, like so, where the seat back is. And this is where I wanted to talk about the, I'll put this one down as well. And you can see how cheap some of the items are, where the seatbelt carrier is here. And that's pretty much something you'd purchase from say Dollar General or Family or Dollar Tree or Dollar or any of those bloody budget shops.
Wish,
Yeah,
Temu.
Wish, Temu, yes, all of the above apply, don't they? But when we have a look at the parcel shelf, I'll
Where
get
are
in
we?
right there. See there? Yes, there you go. They haven't kept the costs all down. So they managed to supply a boot release, rear door release. Probably you might not be able to see it from there. Let's have a look. Either that or I can touch this on. See it from there. See what I'm getting at in regards to the quality of, say, the parcel shelf and that. I mean, this is pretty much this is what I would refer to as quality from Monsieur Saint Vincent de Paul. Okay, so Mr. Saint Vincent de Paul, or Skid Row, or something to that effect. But you can see this is quite cheap, even though yes, there is a pretty good chance that it will last the life of the car. But this is where you get to see that should keep the costs down. We're getting them to see how they keep them down. But once again, it is quite robust for what it is, and should serve its purpose quite well. But there's rear air vents, and this is a bonus, and they work. Look at that. Look at that. Even on the plus side, yes. I mean, you got Monsieur Saint Vincent de Paul over here. Actually, you get to stay cool at the same time while you observe all these wonderful creations by Monsieur de Paul. And not to mention the fact that there was 2 USB ports just below those air vents, those rear air vents as well. Now that's a nice touch. But yeah, same thing over here. This one for Australia, they have a full-size spare wheel specified. So yes, full-size steel spare wheel, of course. But once again, it's a full-size spare wheel. And how they achieve this is by putting these blocks here and that in order to raise the boot floor. You can see over here and that with all the other addenda, there's a little bar over the top there. I think that might be that's for that purpose as well, to try and boost the boot floor at the front of the boot floor, so there's stability, so when you're loading in heavy items, it's there as a support. But you've got your jack over here, your wheel braces over here. Nice to know they think of Australians and it's Australian conditions. Take note, other manufacturers of like space spare wheels and tyre inflator kits. This is the way it should be done. I know my Mazda MX-5 doesn't have a spare wheel on. Renault. Look at the symbol de la qualité. Or Dacia. So yes, so filter the door and such, and this either runs on either E5 or E10, which are common fuels throughout Europe, and of course you either got 95 or 98 RON petrol preferred, unleaded petrol. So yes, but E10 is very common in France, and that E5 is not so common in France. It's more like E10 or your regular 95 and 98 octane grades. But other European countries have E5 as well, like Germany does these days, and has done for a little while now. Anyways, you've got your gamut of alloy wheels, you've got your wheel sizes. This comes with Continental tyres, Continental cross contact tyres, and the size is 275/65 R17s. 275/65 R17s, and they appear to be an all-season tyre with those small sights. We'll just look at the cladding, you've got Duster here, the four-wheel drive monitor over here, but this is only just like a cheap decal. You know, and once again, in order to keep the costs down. Or struts, hood struts, beautiful. And this is the heart of the matter, so to speak. And this is the 1.2 litre 3-cylinder turbo petrol engine. And this, I can't remember what the outright power figure of it was, power and torque figure. So I think the newton meters of torque is in the 200 newton meter range, I think, or thereabouts. That'd be a fair assumption. But yeah, you can see the 3 cylinders, the 3 coils. We shall continue on. Rick, when you're ready. Yeah?
Yeah.
Look at that, look at that. So you've got trajectory on the reversing camera. Pity then that I don't use them. There you go. And away we go, dear Dacia. How I love you so. Yes. Anyway, so that just gives you a gist of how these things and features work and that, the overall quality of the vehicle. Paint finish is okay, the gaps are okay. They're not. It doesn't have Japanese build quality in terms of consistent panel gaps. But again, considering it's utilitarian bent, it's okay. It's okay. It's adequate. It does the job. So yeah, we'll just go for a bit of a drive down here. Yeah, so the only instrumentation you get in this is just your speedo, your fuel gauge and your temperature gauge at most. There's nothing else to remark on. Nothing really. You get cruise control, those sorts of things. You've got your audio controls on the steering wheel. Okay, visibility all round for this type of car is quite reasonable. Even with the bigger D pillars in terms of the over-the-shoulder visibility. Decent sized rear window, so certainly no issues there. Surely I'll go this way. But the question does remain: is this a car you would deliberately choose to do your favourite mountain drive and have the most involvement? Sadly, the answer is no. It's not at all. It's not at all. It's a car you choose pretty much just for going off-road, mild situations, nothing too dramatic. And yeah, it's pretty much just you buy a car, and if the money fits that, you know, the one, it does everything it says on the tin. That Monaco seems to fit perfectly with this car. When you've got map lights, they're not LED map lights, not those. Because you've got your prismatic rear vision mirror, it's not an auto dimming rear vision mirror. You do have electric mirrors though, but they're not the electric folding type. There we go. There we go. Let's take a drive. Yeah, so just tootling about suburban areas and that. The ride is still comfortable. The ride definitely is. There's no issues with the ride comfort. The rolling comfort's fine too. The ability to absorb small bumps is pretty good. Adequate performance from the 1.2 litre turbo with the super short gearing and the intermediates, and tall fifth and sixth gear. If I go up to sixth now, I'll start to labour at 62. So let's go down to fifth. That's a happier time indeed. Keeps the turbo in the low range of the boost. A fair bit of construction work out here too, aren't they? Yeah, if simplicity plus is your game, this is probably a good pick. I don't know how to compete with the Suzuki Jimny. To the best of my knowledge, the Suzuki Jimny might be a little bit more expensive, and I have heard that a lot of the wait times are up to 12 months. Well, previously, due to COVID, they were up to around 18 months, 2 years even in some cases, depending on specification. So yeah, Brisbane Gold Coast. Just step in over there. There we go. Yeah, a lot of work going on over here. towards the road. There we are. Back out to Meadowbrook. Go up to the Pacific Motorway. I have noted that the gendarmes use these cars and that in France and New Caledonia. I mean, it wouldn't be rapidly paced transport anyway. That's for sure. It's certainly not rapidly paced. It's just okay at best. No matter good performance, but once you're up to speed, there's no issue or anything like that. Still trying to accept the comfort of the driving position and that. So the driving position does feel a little bit too upright. The seat cushion in relation to the pedals is fine. There's no issue there. Even when I'm fully disengaging the clutch with a slight bend in my knee, the clutch is still super lightweight. There's just enough fuel to feel where the friction point section of the clutch is. Right there, so first gear. Here it's still, even when you're bringing when you're letting out the clutch to the friction zone, that you can hear the engine starting to increase its revs, like so. No, I haven't touched the throttle. Touch the throttle, so you can heel toe the down changes. It's not really that sort of car that makes you want to perfect your cornering techniques or take for outright dynamism. Not really. What are your thoughts on square steering wheels? I mean, this isn't a completely square steering wheel, and that you can see where all the round and not too far off 90-degree angle points are around about the 10 and 2 mark, and around about the 5 and 7 marks down here. It's not quite the same as the old Austin Allegro with the bloody square steering wheel, and they used a strange name to market that. They called it Leyland called it a quartic logical steering device. I don't know where the hell they get half of these names from. I mean, I thought my English was long-winded, but an Austin Allegro with a square steering wheel with the 90-degree edges rounded off is known as a quartic logical steering device. That's the official term. Quartic logical steering device. If anybody knows what's logical about it, I'd like to know. Do tell me in the comments. And logic to a square steering wheel. It's a bit like reinventing the wheel, really. Maybe they could always graduate to the rhombus. Maybe. There you go. Even in 6th gear at 70 k an hour, it's got just enough torque to keep it going. And once it's going, it just bowls along with a relaxed air. I did say in one of my, those that have known me for a long time, remember our Romanian travels and that, and they may also remember when I went to a Dacia dealer in Romania, in Bucharest, the capital city, and I did post a long time ago stating that this would be a worthwhile addition to have on Australian roads. Has my opinion changed? No, it hasn't. It would, and thus far, I think it is a worthwhile addition on Australian roads. Like I said earlier in the piece, it does everything it says on the tin. But it doesn't have you wanting to chase bloody lap times or drag or traffic light Grand Prix or anything like that. Everything's all easy to use. And of course, we're going to take it out onto the motorway and see what it's like around the 110 kilometre an hour mark. And I think it'll be better suited to 6th gear cruising then. That's okay. Even though, yes, the gear shifter is a little bit on the rubbery side, it shifts gear. Once again, it shifts gear, okay. I think 4th to 5th same. Like so. I mean, it does the job, even up to 6th. As I said to you before, a little bit too tall for under 70, so I'll go down to 5th. There you go. to have these in the lease catalogue ages back for Renault, the 4x4 manual. They used to have them. It's just so sad that they no longer have them. There we go. Dynamic Dacia. That could be a good name for this stuff. There we go. Up to 110 k's. That's one of your cars, my dear.
It is.
And that's not turbo one though.
No, it's not.
So even cruising at 110 k's in top gear, 6th gear, bowls along with a relaxed air, and it's quiet. It's quite quiet. You do hear the road noise as the distinct type of noise. 110, and still the environment is quite reasonable. Very reasonable. You can have a normal conversation, and again you do hear the tyre noise and on the change of road surfaces to different types of hot mix. Nice day today. 26 degrees. Superior motoring to an MX-5 with the top down. I mean, yeah, if this was available, I mean, it'd be okay to take as a lease car. I mean, do you feel comfortable sitting in the seat?
Yes.
No issues with seat comfort or anything like that? I mean, you also got to multiply that by many thousands of kilometres too.
That's true.
Oh, yes.
But there's a lot of leg room, even for the passenger side, especially for someone as tall as I am.
Yeah. Oh, that's the chair. That's the key, isn't it?
And then you got into the back seat there before with my seat adjusted for my position. So having someone who was tall, again, as a passenger sitting behind me, they've still got quite a lot of room.
Oh, absolutely. Interior space is adequate, as is the leg room, driving position room, maybe a little bit of finessing in terms of the driving position. It's mainly what I've found is that as I'm driving it more and more, as I'm covering more kilometres, is it's the driver's dead pedals on the. So when the driver's dead pedal is flat like this, it's like your foot's on a strange angle like so. So rather than your foot being like this, as is typical on a driver's dead pedal, it's like this. Very strange angle. And the thing is, there's no room between the driver's dead pedal and the clutch. It's none. That's it there. Dead pedal, clutch, dead pedal, clutch, dead pedal, clutch. So I'm going to bring my foot back like this and have it under the clutch. That's even more uncomfortable. A little bit of a black mark, I suppose, if you want to call it that. But it's a compromise. Life is a compromise, isn't it? I mean, this isn't a bad car, despite the things that we did point out. But I do get the impression I should be wearing my cap and smoking a pipe at the same time as I'm driving it, though. Even with the easy-to-use manual gearbox. That's just the thing. It doesn't inspire you to drive hard. That's the thing. It's just more like a Sunday drive thing outside, away from the off-roading arena.
Well, and that's why we got a CX-5.
That's a joke. Doesn't inspire you to drive hard. I mean, so imagine the CX-5 runs rings around this in the handling and dynamic department. This is no question. It's like comparing a British touring car in comparison to this. There's no question about it. I mean, if reliability, general reliability and quality reports stack up over here as they have done in Europe, this is definitely a good buy. Definitely a good buy. Really is. Yeah. No, still the air conditioning's still working well, which is good. A lot of European cars don't get that aspect of world markets right, especially when it comes to air conditioning for Australian climates, Australian and New Zealand, New Caledonian climates, Asia Pacific. No, it's working really well here. It really is. There's no complaints. Kudos to Renault Duster. Kudos. It's really good. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap it up there, and that's so. Hope you like my little review of the Dacia, the Renault Duster. So yeah, do stay tuned. There's plenty more where that came from. I'll talk to you all soon. Laters.